Let's start off with our pre-requirement before we start looking into solving equations. The very first thing is your variables, right? So we're looking at variables. So the general idea behind variables is that we will be substitute or writing, more than substituting, we are writing or representing a particular item or items or a particular situation or a particular quantity with the help of a letter, right? So if we want to look at the definition, it is that letter used to represent a range of number or numbers and or an unknown quantity, right? So let's look at a situation. I kept talking about situations, is it not? So let's look at a situation. So the situation here is that 0 is a additive identity. Why do we tell that? Well, let's make a general statement. That is, let's start off with something which we already know. 0 plus 10 is 10. One more example, 0 plus 11 is 11. 0 plus 101 is 101. So basically 0 plus anything is that thing, is it not? When we look at the pattern, that's the conclusion. So how do we represent that 0 plus anything? See, the word anything is replaced by a, and we have a as the answer, right? This is nothing but anything, any number. To be more specific, any number is represented by a. When added with 0 will give me the same number back, and that's why 0 is called additive identity. So I'm talking about a particular situation. Mathematically, how do I represent it? I just wrote that. We have just written this over here. Is it not? It's not that hard. Of course, we have situation like we have formulas wherein we tell speed is nothing but the distance we cover divided by the time. So we are dividing this distance by time, and that will give me speed. Of course, I can't keep writing this. So in place of s, speed, I'm going to write s. In place of distance, I'm going to write d. And time, I'm going to write t. Of course, I need not fix it to be so. I can easily replace this with x, y, and z. It's my wish and will, but yes, the general convention is that you use s, d, and t. It can be small letter, right, or big letter, depends on the person, situation, and so on and so forth. So this is the basic idea of a variable. We are trying to substitute or represent, mainly we are trying to represent a particular situation or a quantity or things, right? Distance is a measurement, time is a measurement, and speed is a measurement, is it not? So we are trying to represent this measuring quantities with letters, and that's your variable. So moving on, before we solve or talk about an equation, we need to understand what is an expression. So the basic idea here is an expression is like a phrase, while equation is like a sentence. Okay, so I am walking, phrase. I am walking towards my sporting place, not ground, academy, sporting academy. So a phrase is nothing but, I'm just giving a general statement, example. So phrase is nothing but it's kind of incomplete, while sentence is giving you more action plus your goal and stuff like that. Okay, again, phrase and sentence definition, I'm not talking about that. I'm just giving you guys an idea. I'm sure you guys know better about phrase and sentence than me. So a phrase is similar to an expression, or if I want to put it the other way around, an expression is similar to a phrase. Make sense? And an equation is similar to a sentence. Well, if this didn't make sense, I'll make sure that you understand this. So let us define expression. An expression is number or numbers, variable or variables, or a combination of numbers and variables, and a operating symbol. So it's a combination of a lot of things. So I'll start off with x by 2 plus 10. This is an expression. Minus a plus 50, another expression. Root of 3x square plus 2y, another expression. So here we are looking at x being the variable, 2 and 10 being your numbers. Negative a, or a is your variable, and negative 1 over here is your number, and 50 is another number. X square is your variable with its exponent with an exponent power of 2. Root 3 and 2 are your constant, and y is your variable. Is it not? So here what we looked at is an idea about what is an expression. Of course, there are a lot more examples, and something like I want to add this as well. 10 plus 20 is also an expression. Okay. So whatever we did till now, from the starting of the basics till now, we came across a lot of expression. While equation is different from an expression by just a small thing. When we express, when we equate an expression to another expression or a number, we get an equation. So basically, equals to sign. We're talking about a particular situation, fixing the outcome. That is an equation. It's like a sentence. Phrase is general, right? So this, I guess, in time you guys will realize, rather than me trying to explain everything now. In time you will realize, right? By the end of this particular section, you will realize the difference between an expression and an equation. A small note: what does 3x, 4xy and x square stand for? You have seen this, and I'm sure most of you know it, but still I would like to explain. (3x) stands for 3 into x. Basically, there's a operation, and that is multiplication. But you might ask, sir, how is it different? Is it different from 3 plus x? Well, yes, this is different from 3 plus x. The difference is that the operations are different. Next, 4xy. Does it mean 4 into x into y? Right? And next one, which we already know, x square, which is nothing but x into x. So basically here I'm trying to show you guys that 4xy, 3xy, x square y, all this means that things are getting multiplied. 3 of x plus 10, 3 into x plus 10. Okay, so these are the things which you need to know. Now, the next thing, evaluating an expression. So what does it mean? Evaluating an expression is to substitute a number and find the value. Let's understand this properly. This is an expression, is it not? Now the question tells, evaluate this particular expression when we have a particular scenario. And the scenario is that when x is 0. So the expression is x plus 10, right? It's given that The expression is x plus 10, and we are looking at situations, right, wherein we have x is equal to 0. So what should I do? So basically, in place of x, I'm going to write 0 plus 10 and copy the other part, and thus this gives me 10. So this is the value of this expression for a given situation where x is equal to 0. Right? It's as simple as that. So again, we are trying to evaluate when we have x is equal to -1. So in place of x, right, x plus 10 is there now. So all you have to do is you have to replace, okay, I just made it neater, that's all. So I have to replace x with -1. So basically you end up with 9, and that's your value for that particular expression, x plus 10, for this particular situation. Right? Now again, x is equal to 11. So again you write x plus 10. So in place of x, I'm writing 11. The answer is 21. Okay. Few more example. Evaluate. So that's the expression. Well, these are the possible scenarios, right? So it's a good question. I would like you guys to pause and solve it. So I'm writing the expression, right? Then we're looking at different situation. So the first situation being when a is, for a is equal to 0. Okay, so we have 2 into 0 square minus 0 plus 10. So by default we know 0 into anything is 0, minus 0, right, plus 10. So this, the answer is 10. Make sense? Okay. Next, for a is equal to 1. So in place of all of this, let me do this actually, so that you guys can understand it a bit better. So in place of 1, I'm writing a, I'm writing 1. 1 square. This is the symbol for into, I mean, not symbol for into, but we are trying to tell that 2 is being multiplied with 1. And here again 1. So what did I do? All I did was I erased a, and in that place I wrote 1. This is a simple idea of substitution. Okay. So 2 into 1 square is 2 itself, -1 plus 10, and you can solve the answer. So this will be 11. Now the next question, for a is equal to 10. So here too again, what will you do? So you're going to replace 10 with a with 10. So into 10 square, -10. So this is 2 into 10 square. So 2 into, as for board mass, see again, every basic will come back. Maths grows upon things. It just does not start off somewhere. I mean, along the way it does not start off somewhere. It has a starting part, like definite starting part, and you need to build from there and only then move on. So there is no brackets, there is order, that is the operation, exponential operation. So 10 to 10 square is 10 into 10. Actually, I mean, I can still directly write this as 100 and need not do such a big step and all that. Not too many steps. Directly write 10 square is 100. No division. There is multiplication. 200 minus 10 plus 10. Addition, subtraction. Yes, we have. And that is subtraction, and the answer is 200. Right? Next we have for x is equal to, instead of -1, let me make it as -2. A bit more challenging. For a is equal to -2. So there is into over there. So in place of a, I'm going to write what? In place of a, I'm going to write -2 the whole square, -2 over there. Right? This is your basic idea of substitution. So 2 into -2 the whole square is what? Is 4, and negative of -2 is +2, minus of -2 is +2 plus 10. And here, as per board mass, we did our brackets was not there, operation was there, we did that. Multiplication is there, so that's 8 plus 2 plus 10. Addition is there, we'll do that, and subtraction is not there, so we have 20 as your answer. Okay, so this idea of substitution and everything is very important. So I have few more questions. Just a last question. So we are looking at we have given as 2x plus 3y -10. And we're looking at situation wherein I have x is equal to 1. So again, oh yeah, and y is equal to 10. So there are two variables over here, x and y. So whatever the x value is, that I need to substitute, and whatever the y value is, that I need to substitute. So here we have 2 into 1, 3 into 10. So in place of x, I'm substituting 1. In place of y, I'm substituting 10. We have 2 plus 30 minus 10, which is nothing but 22. Right? Next, we are looking at one more situation where x is 0 and y is -2. So here again, all I'm doing is substituting. In place of x, I'm substituting 0, and I wrote a multiplication symbol. Here too, I need to write a multiplication symbol and -2. Okay. So as per board mass, we have to multiply, because there is no bracket, no operation, no division. So next is multiplication. I'll go from left to right. This is 0. And this is -6, -10. Addition is there, yes. Both are of same sign, so we are adding. And this is -16. Addition done. Subtraction is not there, so we are done. Okay. That's it. So this is how you evaluate something, and the final number which we get is your value of that particular expression for this particular situation. Okay, so substitution and everything I'm trying to introduce now itself. So this is a basic idea of substitution, but yes, again I'll try to introduce in different format. But yeah, this is again, all of this are important, so go through all of them and take the test.